Yes. On the way to the workshop, I have just had a moment of epiphany. Why don't I just stop mucking about with retro stuff like this for you, getting my hands dirty, finding parts and sourcing things to build cool retro bikes and showing you just how far we can push some old stuff? Why don't I just approach some mainstream brands, some juicy carbon manufacturers, maybe something nice and Italian, and see if I can have one for free? And I'll just ride it, and I'll tell you how great it is, and I'll service it in here, and you know, it'll be amazing. It's a plant with no drawbacks. I honestly don't see a problem with it whatsoever, and I can't wait to get started on it. Yeah, right. Come on. It's down a smooth tarmac. Some of the show. Come on. So welcome back to the channel, and what you're about to see is something truly weird or awesome. Despite being full of cold or possibly COVID, I tried to create a video about a month ago of me converting this Raleigh Stowaway 20 that you can see behind me into something cool that I could use on a trip to Bristol, because I wanted to go on the train because I can't stand driving there in the car. We're going to cut to me in the workshop, feeling ill. Dave's going to turn up. We're going to do some amazing stuff to this bike, and then we're going to ride it, because it's going to be like a cut to being on the train and stuff. Anyway, let's go. Check this out. We're back in the workshop with something a little more unusual. It's going to be a stripped back episode today. We've not got fancy lights because we haven't got the room. But Dave coming to join me in the workshop, and we're going to do some crazy stuff with this Raleigh Stowaway. I need a folding bike for a trip to Bristol next week. I've got one, but it's not in a good way. It's heavy. It's like 18 kilos of heft. We kind of started thinking, wouldn't it be cool if it had some modern accoutrement? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of these wheels, going to put some new 20s in it, get rid of the chrome. These have a 78mm bottom bracket shell. That's getting slimmed down and re-tapped. It's very exciting. This could go horribly wrong, but stick with us. Let's see what it turns into. I'm going to crack into a time lapse, strip her down. Do all of this without bloody filming it, look. So we have managed to get, what did we do? We got that freaking cotter pin out. Where's the rest of that? Yeah, the cotter pin arm, that came out. So we slimmed the bottom bracket down from 76 to 73. Chased it, faced it, changed it to 24 TPI and fitted a square taper bottom bracket.
Cold set.
And we just cold set. I love it when people say cold set. Bent it out. That's what we've done.
It's a centimetre too
And
much.
now it's too much.
So it's gone from 110 to 140.
Yeah, it's nearly plus. We need to find a front wheel solution.
We do. We found out that 20 inch isn't 20 inch.
No, it's not in the world of Raleigh, because they're 20 by 1 and 3 somethings of something. And this is a proper 20 inch.
With a fat tyre on, that'll be smart.
It will be brilliant. And we're going to run a derailleur. Right, let's see if we can find a front wheel. I haven't filmed as much as we might have liked tonight. It's been a bit manic, but I think we've achieved something pretty impressive with the Stowaway. Got a 2x up front, strong like cranks, 1x6 out back.
We've got the 20-inch wheels fitted with the BMX tyres and bar and stem, and we're going to go with just some old Dior friction thummies. This thing is going to be badass cool. We made such a mess. It has been an ordeal. Getting one of the cotter pins to give up proved to be an absolute task. Worst one I've ever done, and bearing in mind I used to deal in vintage bikes, worst one ever. We'll look at that bottom bracket. Square taper, 76 down to 73 standard, rethreaded to 24 TPI. What a job. This thing is gonna fly. It's just awesome. In order to make things work smoothly, I needed a way of routing some of the cabling. First up was to use the old chain guard mount for the rear derailleur cable guide. Just think of the weight saving. We also had to say goodbye to that handy kickstand to make way for a bottom bracket cable guide to allow us to have cable routing for both the rear and the front derailleur. And as you can see, it looks almost, well, doesn't look factory, but look at it, it's going to do the job perfectly. And that's it, you can see the drivetrain starting to take shape now. It's insane, but it's a 2x7. Also, I think you just see there that I added some bottle mounts to the top tube as well. Top tube, or is it a down tube? It's a both tube, because there's only one of them. You can see the cable routing there from those original Dior DX shifters that we're using into my new housing. Oh man, now that looks almost factory. So for the front, I had to add one last mounting system to guide that cable to the derailleur. And I used a little bottle cage mount type thing again with an old school roadie cable guidey thing. Genius, if I do say so myself. I've used it on another bike since. And there it is. Look at that. Chain on, cables running. That's proper gears working on a tiny bike. How cool is that? So at this point, I'm only waiting for a seat post. Other than that, this thing is train ready. I've even added the original Pletcher rack to the back. You see it there, so I can carry a pannier. So let's go on the train. Let's go. It's train time. As you'll see, the Raleigh stowaway can be folded apart in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. One-handed operation. like at all good kids push chairs.
There we go. Oh yeah.
Mine unfolded on the road and go down the hill. The wind.
Did it? Hey, look at this. This is a revelation. Do up the thingy like that. Forks on straight. Which way around did they go? Like that. Yeah.
Chains come off.
Hey?
Chains come off.
Oh, you should know all about that with your 25 speed Bronx. Oh, that's not going to come out from there quite so much. I reckon if I'd have put this on the inner chainring, I wouldn't be having this problem right now.
Yeah. Mine gets stowed on the inner.
So it's a
Tips top now.
hey,
Top tips.
top tips for folding bike connoisseurs. Look at that. Yeah.
It's when you're going up and down stairs and stuff like that, you realise you want something that's absolutely light.
See you in a bit, buddy. So after that faultless and graceful demonstration of how quickly the stowaway can be unfolded, it's time to say goodbye to Dave, who's been travelling with me, because he also does some work down in Bristol, funnily enough, and see how this thing rides. And I'm going to be brutally honest and deeply proud of my achievement in equal measure. So let's go good points first. It handles really quite nicely and quite predictably, and why wouldn't it with those honking great 20-inch BMX tyre things that we used. It feels quite comfortable, and the flex, considering it's an old design, legendary Sheldon Brown always said these were quite stiff for a folding bike, and they are. It's got some wobble, but nothing more than any other folding bike. It's certainly not as bad as an old vintage Bickerton or anything as dreadful as that. The gears all work, and the climbing gear, as demonstrated at this point, is perfectly adequate. So that's the good stuff. Oh yeah, and being a small wheel, it accelerates really well, especially with the proper gears. On as that last clip showed with the e-bike, that you couldn't see it, but she totally cut me up. Brakes really good, considering they're just some long drop side pulls we found in some box in the workshop. Yeah, that's all the good. This is me arriving at one of my workplaces, and now I'm leaving again. I'm rushing big time to the train station. So while I'm doing that, let's talk about some of the negatives. Okay, and there are a couple. One, and it is a big one, is the weight. It's still a hefty machine, especially if you've got it folded up and you're carrying it and rolling it around with a pannier bag on as well. It's quite meaty. So there's one. Two, it's probably going to be the fold up size. Yes, it does fold up, but not as small as you might imagine. And certainly don't be getting any ideas that it folds up anywhere near as small as a Brompton. But equally, this thing didn't cost me anywhere near £1,000, let's put it that way. But other than that, I am kind of back to positives again. Because providing you get this set up right before you ride it, get the seat height to suit you, this thing's pretty comfortable. And it has its twitchy moments, as all small wheel bikes do. Anybody who's ever ridden one will tell you they're all the same. They have a inherent twitchiness. But I'm 6'3", and this thing catered for me just fine. You know, it didn't have the refinements of some of the modern offerings, but I probably built it for less than 300 quid, so I'm happy. So that's it, job done. Back at Bristol Parkway just in time to try and fold this up in a hurry, get back on that train.
have it. I made it back to the station literally with moments to spare. The bike performed faultlessly. Probably more by luck than good judgment, because this, as far as engineering feats go, this was a lot of bicycle bodgery, which is what we're famous for. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say, hope your next ride is downhill with smooth tarmac. Keep your wheels spinning, keep your rubber on the road, keep your knobblies on that trail, keep your bike folded up and stowed away safely on the train. Look out for each other. Remember the nod, cyclist to cyclist. We're in this together. If you get a minute, like and subscribe for more content. It would mean the absolute world to me, honestly. But don't let it get in the way of you getting out and riding your bike. Till next time, thanks for watching.